sometimes a deck is just, it gets really popular and we have to look at it. Hey everybody, Nick from 9Card TCG, and today we're going to be playing an Arceus V-STAR Inteleon deck because it's all over my Twitter and YouTube feed, so we got to give it a go. Before we get into the video, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment, all that kind of stuff. Tell YouTube this is a good video and other people should watch it. If you're in the market for some TCG accessories, I am now affiliated with Dragon Shield, which means you can use the link in the video description to get yourself some Dragon Shield matte sleeves. They're the only ones I use, or whatever other accessories you need. If you use that link, I get a kickback, and that means I can make more and better videos for you guys. If you want to help support the channel in a little bit more of a direct manner, you can become a channel member by clicking the join button down below. There's a bunch of different perks that come with becoming a member, and yeah, that's how you can help support the channel. But honestly, you don't have to do any of that. Just you being here watching is enough for me. Now, with all that said, let's hop over, can't speak today, let's hop over to PTCGO and take a look at this deck list. Arceus V, it's extremely expensive on PTCGO, so shout out to Snyder on Discord, the man, for hooking me up with a 1-1 line of Arceus V and V-STAR so I can make this video. We're going to be using Arceus V the same way we're going to be using Arceus V-STAR. We have the Trinity Charge attack, and if we go second, this is a really good attack to start powering up Pokemon because you can search your deck for 3 basic energies and attach them to your V Pokemon any way you want. If we go first, well, now we can go ahead and attach an energy to Arceus V, and then next turn Arceus V-STAR, use Trinity Nova. Now it's the same exact thing as Trinity Charge, except we're hitting for 200 damage. Do keep in mind that on turn 2, if we're using Trinity Nova, that means we have a double turbo energy attached, and now our damage is reduced by 20, so we're only hitting for 180, but honestly, that's still pretty good when you have something like Starburst. You can find yourself a Choice Belt, and now you're hitting 210, knocking out most Pokemon Vs. So that's our attacker, is Arceus. So we're looking really to power up other Arceus. We cannot use Trinity Charge or Trinity Nova to our Inteleons or other single prize Pokemon. It must be Pokemon V, so we're only powering up other Arceus with this. However, we do have 2 copies of Quick Shooting Inteleon, and we have the Shady Dealings Inteleon, as well as the Shady Dealings Drizziles and the Rapid Strike Sobbles, because we can always go call for family or keep calling whatever attack it is and get a bunch of Sobbles onto the field if we don't have an Arceus, or even if we have one on the bench, but we only have like that one, we can just keep this in the active attachment energy and go ahead and start doing our thing. This is going to be, I don't want to say it's similar. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's similar to Rapid Strike Urshifu, but, you know, it's similar to any deck that, I would say it's probably closer to Ice Rider than anything else, right? Instead of having Ice Rider, you have Arceus, and it uses a lot of the same stuff. We just looked at Ice Rider yesterday. It has the same Shady Dealings Inteleon line, Capacious Bucket, Melony. You can go ahead and get an energy from the discard and attach it to one of your Pokemon V, then draw 3 cards. Melony is really good for that. Path to the Peak is going to help shut down opposing Pokemon abilities. So if you're going against something like Mew or another Arceus, you can go ahead and get your Starburst off first, and then throw a Path in play and kind of force them to be able to deal with the Path. If they want to use their Starburst, they want to use their Lumineons or Crobats or whatever Pokemon abilities they have. The rest of it is honestly pretty simple. We have a little bit of Marnie and research for draw support. We have Pokemon search in the form of Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, Level Ball. We can Scoop Up Net to go ahead and get one of these Inteleon Pokemon out of the active. Some Choice Belts to do a little bit of extra damage. Air Balloon for a little bit of mobility. And that's the deck. And Boss's Orders to move up a Pokemon. It's a very basic deck. Like I said, you're using those Arceus, and that's pretty much it. So I'm curious as to know why this is getting so much attention when it seems so simple. I don't really know why. What's the huge benefit of Arceus V-STAR over Ice Rider? Well, Ice Rider can hit easily 280, you know, right anywhere between 250 and 310. And in yesterday's video, I made a stupid misplay because sometimes when you're doing videos like this, you're not really focused on the gameplay. You're focused on the video and how's the recording time, how's everything sound, you know, all that little stuff. And so I made a huge misplay where I could have knocked out a Mew VMAX and actually have won the game, but I didn't see it because I'm too busy narrating and talking, and but this just puts out less damage, right? You're going to be hitting for 210 versus 250, and yeah, okay, you're a 2 prize Pokemon, so that's nice. Ice Rider's 3 prize, but you're still a stage 1. You just give up 1 less prize, so your opponent has to knock out 3 Pokemon versus knocking out 2. I don't know, but this is apparently doing very well, and I apologize. I don't remember who was the original creator of this list, so I can't give credits here, but if you do know, leave it. Tell me in the comments, and I would be more than happy to update the video description and leave a pinned comment saying who should be getting credit for this deck list, because unfortunately I do not know. I've just been seeing a lot of people talking about it, so I threw something together. And yeah, there we go. This list in particular is based off of Gabe Smart's list, but I don't know if he was the original creator, and I don't remember exactly how many changes. Probably not many. But anyway, let's go see how the deck actually does. Going into game number 1, and let's see what happens here. Probably playing another Arceus deck. It's extremely common at the moment. Whether it's Arceus Counterbox, Arceus Duraludon, Arceus Inteleon, even Arceus Ice Rider is a little bit of something you might encounter. Now, this is not actually a bad start here. We can go ahead and drop this onto the bench. Since we see a Moltres, and I'm assuming based on the Arceus coin and deck box, it's probably a counter box, which part of me thinks that there should be a Dunsparce in this list. I don't know why there isn't. We'll get rid of... You know what? We'll get rid of you. Because then we could Starburst for a Melony. We'll get a Sobble. And we will go ahead and pass off. Because now we can go ahead and get... we can just get a double Turbo Energy and like a Choice Belt or something. I don't know if we're going to need the Choice Belt. They're dumping the Lumineon, the Hoopa. So this is definitely an Arceus counterbox. There's the Moltres. They need to power that Moltres up, and this only has 200 health. Let's see what we top deck. If we can top deck a Pokemon Search, that would just be fantastic. We get, oh my goodness. Okay, so we got the double Turbo Energy, which means we can go Arceus VSTAR, because now we can Starburst to get the Choice Belt and the Boss's Orders. Boss's Orders, Choice Belt. Now we hit 210, knock out that Moltres. We can knock out this too. But the Moltres is pretty scary. Right, because they'll one-shot us. And we'll go ahead and just power up this other Arceus V on the bench. We'll take 2 prizes in the process. And they could... Maybe the Arceus was the better play. Because these decks usually run more than... They usually run more than 1 Zapdos. But now they have to find it. So I'm going to try to force them into getting it. Okay, so they have the Arceus VSTAR. So maybe I should... I think in the future, the right play would have been knocking out the Arceus, because then they couldn't Starburst this turn. And even if they did attach an energy to the Zapdos... Yeah, Arceus would have been the better play. That was my mistake. Because now they could just energy switch and KO anyway. Yeah, okay. I should have knocked out the Arceus. That was my mistake. Listen, this is how you learn these matchups. You play, you make your mistakes. I recognized... I considered it. I didn't... Yeah, it's silly. But if I can knock out this... I think our best bet here is to go for a research. Because I won't be able to knock it out. I need the Choice Belt, unfortunately, but I also need an Arceus V-Star. So I think I just have to go research and kind of hope for the best. Almost. Not exactly. Actually, no, we do knock it. It only has 200 health. We don't even need the Choice Belt. And they concede. Even with the mistake, still managed to pull it off just because Trinity Nova is such a good attack. Next game up, let's see if we can not make a mistake in the future. I do think the Arceus was probably the better choice in that situation. This isn't terrible, right? We're going to go first. So we can quick ball away a water energy for a... Yeah, this is actually not that bad. It's not terrible. We'll go ahead and just drop both Sobbles. We're going to do it anyway. We're going first, so it doesn't matter. But I'm curious to know what we're playing against. Nothing really to indicate aside from the Arceus coin, but that's just like the generic default coin that all my... Oh, we're playing Durant. Oh, alright. So we can get rid of this Choice Belt. We don't really need it. Get an Arceus. I should have still gotten rid of the water energy, because the next time I could have Melonied. But it doesn't matter too much, I guess. Because I could just go here. And I don't want to keep calling. I don't think so. I want to try to keep my deck as clean as I can, or as many cards in it as possible. I don't need to set up other Pokemon. I don't need to accelerate a bunch of energy. I can still discard. Alright, still, that's fine, right? As long as I can go ahead and get, an Arceus V-Star. If I can get an Arceus V-Star, we'll be okay. Because then I could just Starburst for a switch. And that'll be fine. So they'll go ahead and discard 2 cards. We get a Scoop Up Net. Not exactly what I wanted. What did they get rid of? They got rid of a Choice Belt. But we can still hit. So that's okay, because then we can just Scoop Up Net this Sobble. And we'll throw it down. And I think we just Power Edge, take the KO early. So that actually kind of worked. That mill actually helped us to get the Scoop Up Net into our hand. Otherwise, I don't think we would have been able to really do much. Okay, so they get the heads. Trying to really trap this into play. We get a water energy. I'm just going to go and Marnie, I think. I don't really want to Marnie them. Maybe I... Oh, God, this is so tough. I have so many outs to Pokemon that if I just, like, can get it... But the Marnie, you know what? They only have this Pokemon in hand. So I want to see as many cards as I can. Like, they only have this one Pokemon. So we can Level Ball. We can now just... I think we just win because we can go ahead and get an Evolution Incense. I don't have one. Alright, fine. We'll get an Ultra Ball. That's fine. Just want to make sure I have the Arceus V-Star. I do. Okay. We got the Arceus V-Star. Honestly, yeah, that's fine. I could honestly just go Path to the Peak, probably, and attaches double turbo energy and attack and win. So I'll just do that. We'll just go path. We will retreat into our Arceus and we just win. Right? There we go. Easy. You don't have to make it complicated. Let's do one more match because that middle one was a little quick and we did get a little bit lucky that they didn't have a ton of Durants on the field. So we win the coin flip yet again, and so we are going to go first. I mean, this is shaping up to be pretty solid. We'll kind of see what we're playing against. We can just not bench it, I guess. And again, it doesn't really make a difference. We're going to go first, and we're playing some type of metal box, right? So I'm going to throw this down. We're just going to pass, right? There's nothing else I need to do. I could have thinned the deck for some water energies, I guess. Keep them in the hand, but that maybe would have been a good decision. Try to get some extra stuff out of the deck now. I would be less likely to discarding 2 researchers. Oh, that's tough. I'd be less likely to draw into a water energy. All right, they're going Arceus Metal. Okay. Okay. You could make Arceus do anything. We get a boss's orders. That's pretty sweet. But like, oh man, we have a bunch of researchers though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and bucket one of these water. We'll get both out. We'll get both out. And I guess we'll research. Ugh. Didn't really want to do that. But here, we can go ahead. We can Starbirth. We'll get ourselves a Choice Belt. And let's see. Maybe we get the boss for next turn. Because we had the path. I kind of want to mess with them with the path. So we'll do that. And we'll slap this Choice Belt on. We'll throw the path down. Now they can't Starbirth next turn. And we'll go ahead and Trinity Nova, take the KO. And see how they respond. We can always Ultra Ball away with an Ultra Ball and whatever we get off this prize. A Quick Ball to get ourselves another Arceus V-Star and attach this water energy, be ready to go. So they have to have a stadium if they want to use their Starburst. And that's kind of why I like running Path to the Peak in this Arceus deck, is simply because if I can Starburst first, now they're in trouble. So they're able to hit me for 180. They're just going to go ahead and Trinity Nova. They can't. They could accelerate some energies to themselves if they wanted. Looks like they're gonna try to thin the deck out, I suppose. So we'll go. Kind of don't need anything off that, so we're gonna get rid of. And we're gonna get another V-Star. And we'll just do our 210. And they'll take the KO. We'll be able to counter KO. And depending on what they put onto the bench, I might just boss it up. And they can see they have nothing to do. That Path to the Peak really, really shut them down, it seemed. So there you have it. Arceus Inteleon is actually, it was working really well. My big concern, especially without having a Dunsparce to just throw on the bench as, you know, okay, no more fighting weakness. That would be really helpful. Something I might consider adding a one of. It would also, I don't know if my list has one Sharon's Care. It would be kind of cool to pull that Arceus V-Star that was in the active out of the active because they hit it, they're not able to take the KO. Put a fresh one into the bench and then bench into the Arceus, and there you go. Setting it up all over again. The big concern that I have is, of course, damage output. With this deck, you're putting out maximum 210, or I guess you're putting out maximum 230, and then a couple of Inteleon pings, so you're going to be two-shotting anything more than a Pokemon V. So anything V-Star, V-Max is automatic two-shot. Yeah, again, you have your Inteleon pings, but in each of these games, I didn't even get that far. So games can end quickly, and again, it's good that the games were able to end that quickly, but if my opponent was able to get another Pokemon on the bench, it just, damage output is a little bit of a concern. Not a ton, because we do have things like Starburst where we can boss up that Pokemon V and knock it out before it evolves, before it becomes a problem. But something to consider. I do think adding a Farfetch'd into this deck would be kind of nice. Farfetch'd with the from Billion Stars, double turbo energy. It does damage based on the amount of damage counters your opponent's active Pokemon has on it. So if you hit for however much, 180 with Trinity Nova, they have a VMAX, they knock out your Arceus, well, okay, no problem. I just slap down this Farfetch'd, throw a double turbo energy on it, and take the KO with a single prizer. Now, they have to knock out 2 Pokemon to get the same number of prizes I get from knocking out their 1. And don't get me wrong, knocking out that Farfetch'd is going to be pretty easy, but I could force them into a 7-prize game by going V-Star, V-Star, single prize V-Star, something like that, versus 2 VMAXs, or VMAX, V, and a random single prize Pokemon. Things like Luminions, Crobats are going to be super easy boss targets to just close out a game or get 2 quick prizes. Even Galarian Zapdos in the Arceus Counterbox matchup, again, you saw, it's an easy knockout, 200 health. It's not that, it's pretty squishy. So there are definitely things that we can do to work around the lack of damage output. And maybe it's not even that big of a deal, right? Maybe I'm just so used to single strike Urshifu. It's like, yeah, turn 2, if I'm going first, I could be hitting for 240 easy, no big deal. And that's with a V. And then if I really want, I can hit 330 with the VMAX and just knock out anything in the game. Maybe I'm just used to that. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time rambling about it. Overall, it's a very, very good deck. Definitely recommend it. Again, maybe consider Dunsparce Farfetch'd as one-ofs, just to help some of these other matchups. But yeah, overall, I definitely recommend this deck. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, like, comment if you haven't. Check out Dragon Shield and all their amazing products. And, if you like what you're seeing and you want to help support the channel even more, you can become a member. But yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.